State's most watched news starts now.
Wednesday morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News where it is 5 a.m. I'm Michael Hayslip. Relatively quiet morning and also too, beautiful look at a full moon. This is the segment we call Let's Make Fun of Michael. Come on down, Tanya. We're going to play the Let's Make Fun of Michael segment. So this is our tower cam at 7th and Rangeline. That was at one time a beautiful, colorful shot until I turned it toward the blue moon or toward the full moon. At which point, it looked like our incomparable producer, Caden Milner, said film noir. I went with, I feel like the Navy SEALs are looking through their night vision goggles. Anyway, we're going to get this fixed. If you have a chance, step outside and look to the west. It is the super flower blood moon. Yeah, all three of them. Super moon because of its proximity to Earth, the flower moon because that's what the full moon in May is known as, and the blood moon because it's actually part of a lunar eclipse, and once I get the color back, we'll have a little reddish haze to it. Anyway, I figured we'd pick up on the film noir part of it and the make fun of Michael segment, and we'll use this scene right now, and I'll begin the narration. As Roberta looked out her window, she wondered how long Gregory would stay away. For tonight, she was lonely and needed his presence. Fade to current conditions. It worked. It played on live TV. 65 degrees is where we stand right now. Brought our camera guy. He can't even keep a straight face. SKYWATCH Storm Tracker. We are on the quiet side. We're going to keep our eyes right here out in Wichita. But a thunderstorm activity, it is a done for the time being. Not a whole lot on the backside of it. We like this. It's going to be a nice calm morning with a beautiful moon, flower, blood, make fun of Michael moon. We're going to add that in there. Weather trend for today, partly sunny skies. A little more sunshine than what we've had past couple of days, and temperatures up into the low 80s. Look at future track clear out for us. We always like it when that happens. Now, as we get into Thursday morning, yeah, here's where we're going to get widespread. Thursday morning is the one we've been eyeballing here pretty much all week long. It's trying to track a little bit to the north of us right now, but anything that does kind of drop down our way is going to present some heavy rain as well as some lightning and thunder. Farther south you go, wanting to stay on the dry side for the most part, and our temperatures, I'm going to do that again. We're going to run a couple models here on this. See how it stays up to the north right there? But look at that one right there, right as we turn the clock into Thursday. So yeah, that's what we'll be apprised of for tonight into tomorrow morning.
The black and white film noir is kind of fitting because you don't know what you're going to get when you go out there. It's like you think it's going to rain, it feels like it's going to rain, but then it didn't rain, but then it might rain. We
may have a Humphrey Bogart impersonation before it's all said and done.
Oh, I like it.
I'm just saying it's a possibility. It's Wednesday.
No, it'll be fun.
Wild Card Wednesday.
Uh-oh, you never know what you're going to get. It's not even Friday. Wow.
Well, Fridays we reserve for something else.
Well, you are dressed in black and white,
I just can't tell you what it is.
It's fitting. It's fitting. All right, moving along.
I'm shuffling papers, trying to look busy.
Well, the search continues for two inmates who escaped from Cherokee County, Kansas last night. The Cherokee County Sheriff says the escapees are Michael Martzloff and Mark Hopkins II. Martzloff was in jail for drug crimes and Hopkins was held for a double homicide. Authorities say the pair escaped through the jail's sewer system.
In addition to the Sheriff's Office and local police departments, we've been working in partnership with the Kansas Highway Patrol, Kansas Bureau of Investigation, Federal Bureau of Investigation, the U.S. Marshal Service. So it's all hands on deck, and everyone is focused on getting these two suspects located and reapprehended as quickly and safely as possible.
Officials say Martzloff and Hopkins are both considered armed and dangerous. If you see them, you're asked to contact police, but do not approach the suspects. A Joplin man pleads guilty to child molestation. Authorities say James Myers sexually assaulted several children as far back as 2007. Myers pled guilty to 5 counts of Class A felony first-degree child molestation and 1 count of Class B felony first-degree child molestation. He will serve 25 years in prison without parole. Some 4-state students will return to class without mask. The Joplin School Board voted to end the school's mask requirements as the district looks to return to some semblance of normalcy.
About it, I think there's fatigue in our community and I first of all want to say how proud I am of our students, our faculty and staff. They have all done remarkably well with the masking this year and far exceeded my expectations for that.
Neosho's district-wide mask mandate ends today. Missouri drivers can expect delays and road closures when work begins on June 1st for a new roundabout at the intersection of 171 and YY in Jasper County. MoDOT officials say the change is coming to enhance safety in the area. The existing intersection is close to the railroad tracks that run along 171, and that means vehicles, especially large semis and farm equipment approaching from the west on YY, have to sit across from the railroad tracks waiting for a gap in traffic. The new roundabout intersection will be moved over to prevent that from happening. For much of the construction, you'll be able to use the existing roads, but there will be times that the road must be shut down. When that happens, drivers will be directed to use detours. The project costs nearly $10 million and officials expect it to be complete by December 15th. St. Mary's Elementary kindergartners in Joplin learned a little bit about what it's like for their classmates who have autism. The students went through an autism simulation activity. The activity had students experience different things like dealing with pebbles in their shoes and socks on their hands. They also had to write the alphabet while lights flickered.
It's very important, and just the fact that we get to start early with the kindergarten classroom and start developing that mindset is a wonderful thing.
The simulation was presented by Easter Seals, which also provided the school a $729 check for autism awareness. The organization Joplin for Justice will soon celebrate its first anniversary. The group is fundraising for an event to mark the occasion. On June 5th, they plan to have a celebration with food and activities, as well as a memorial for victims of police brutality.
After a year of having Joplin for Justice, I feel like we've done an amazing job being present and influential in our community, and that will just continue to grow. We are just now really getting established in a lot of things, so I look forward to see what the next year brings.
Joplin for Justice is raising the funds through a GoFundMe through June 4th. A presumed tornado leaves damage in a small Kansas town. One person, a firefighter, was injured. Micah Gosha is the captain of the Sheridan County Fire Department in Selden, a group of volunteer firefighters servicing the town. When the power went out, the tornado sirens did not turn on to warn people of what was coming. Gosha, with the help of law enforcement, used his truck and loudspeaker to go through the town to warn people about what was coming. In the process, he was hit in the back of the neck by a downed power line that was not active, but he continued on his route.
That's my job on the department, is to make sure everything's good. I mean, we've got a motto: risk a little to save a little, risk a lot to save a lot, risk a life to save a life. And so we're out here doing everything we can to keep everybody else safe.
Gosha is originally from Selden and has strong ties to the community. His mother owns the local cafe. His sister has a chiropractic office there, and he has a motel. He says in a small town, your neighbors are more than your neighbors. They're family. It's 5:07.
Take a look at the full supermoon if you have a chance early this morning. Sunrise will be here at 6:02 with gradually clearing skies. Sunny and warm later this afternoon. Just a slight chance for Wednesday rain. Certainly won't wash out anything. Things will change overnight into Thursday. Got some showers and thunderstorms that move in from west to east right there. Temperatures going to stay in the 80s all the way into the weekend.
This morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News, a message from the head of the CDC.
Hit a major milestone when it comes to the coronavirus battle. I'm Laura Podesta. I'll tell you what it is, plus new vaccine information for kids.
Plus, Colgan baseball and softball head to state this week. We hear from both head coaches on how they're preparing for the tournament and what to expect if you're planning to travel this Memorial Day weekend. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. More real news in the morning. We'll be right back.
Seneca Indians are still alive for a baseball state championship. Indians were in action last night in the sectional round of the Class 4 bracket. after claiming a district title over the weekend. Seneca on the road against Hollister. Winner moves on to the quarterfinals, and Hollister wins this thing 4-2. Congratulations to Seneca, though, on a very fine season as they finish 16-12 overall. Colgan Panthers are headed to the 2A state baseball tournament this weekend. Panthers won a regional championship last Friday, punching their ticket to Great Bend. Colgan, the number 5 seed in the 2A bracket, and will face 4th-seeded Valley Falls in the first round on Thursday evening. Panthers in search of their 17th state title under head coach Mike Watt, right now playing some of their best baseball with high expectations.
You can't really worry about anybody else but yourself, and like I said, our schedule's prepared us. We've worked hard in practice. They've earned their way there, so I fully expect us to go up and play well. Through our regional, we probably played as well as we have all year, and hopefully that will carry on to the state level.
Feeling good. I think we have a real chance to win it, and I'm believing our guys, so we can definitely get it done.
The Colgan softball team also headed to state this week. Panthers earned the number 7 seed in the bracket and will be on the field against Spearville in round 1 on Thursday. Colgan looking for back-to-back state titles, won it all in 2019. And then COVID took away their chance to repeat. This year, a young team, but no less confident in their chances to bring home another title.
I think with our pitcher on the mound, we have total confidence. We know that we can hit the ball. Our lineup, up and down the lineup, has really come along this year. And so our confidence is pretty high. We're pretty excited to get out there and see what we can do. Being in the CNC, we have game pressure all the time. There's really never any game that you think is a wash, and because of that, I think we're set up well for our state.
Best of luck to Annie Delasega. They're a heck of a coach and a whole lot of good kids. Girls soccer, Webb City Cardinals on the road against Willard. It's the sectional round of the Class 3 state bracket as Webb City wins it 4-2. Now that the Cardinals have doubled up Willard, they move on to meet Union in the quarterfinals on Saturday. Yesterday was the second and final day of the high school state golf tournament in Kansas, and we had some notable 4-state performers in Class 4A. Chanute's Drayton Cleaver shoots a 72. That's good enough for 3rd place in the entire state at 4 over. In 2A, Easton Reynolds for Yates Center also places 3rd. A 73 puts him at 8 over for the tournament, and as a team, Frontenac secures 4th place in Class 3A. Shot their lowest team score of the season, 331. And Cole Niederklein, hey, how about this? Cole with a hole-in-one on the 13th hole. Still to come on the KOAM Morning News, a meeting in the Middle East.
The Secretary of State is in Israel as the ceasefire holds. I'm Ian Lee with Antony Blinken's message to the region.
And to check on our 7-day forecast from the KOAM Morning News returns.
What's your favorite?
Pushing up on 517, and we're having fun here, there, and everywhere as we've decided that the best way to view the super flower blood moon, that is the actual name of it. It's super moon because of its proximity to Earth, blood moon because it's part of a lunar eclipse, and also to flower moon. That's the name of the May full moon. We've decided it's best done in black and white this morning. Executive decision made by the weather guy. 63 degrees is where we stand outside of 7th and Range Line right now. We have been on the quiet and dry side. Pay attention a little bit. Trying to work its way, excuse me, just on the southeast of Wichita. But what a nice welcome relief from what we've had past couple of days. Osage River flood warning still does stay in effect all the way to the weekend. Also, too, we've got some patchy fog. Visibility hasn't been too bad, but now look right here in between Parsons and Oswego along 400. Take that out to Independence. That's a mile and less than a mile down there. Also starting to get poor right along the Kansas-Oklahoma state line there, Welch and Miami down below a mile as well. Very comfortable when you step outside. Mid to high 70s right now with the wind continuing to come in from the south, but very, very light. We're just talking 5 to 10 miles per hour. Jet stream starting to drop a little bit, but still extremely flat. Early morning, full moon, followed by partly sunny skies and warm temperatures. And then we can talk about what's going to transpire overnight as we'll have some showers and thunderstorm activity work in from the west. And this is going to be some pretty hard rain here early Thursday morning as it generates out in the western part of Kansas, then begins to sweep through, and that'll take us into early Thursday morning. So it'll be one of those things. Keep our eyes on the river. Should be gone, though, by the time we get to the morning commute tomorrow. Speaking of the morning commute, Travel expected to rebound this Memorial Day weekend. That's our Something to Talk About. After people were cooped up at home for more than a year, now ready to get on the road. Jeff Paul with the details.
Millions of Americans will be hitting the roads, rails, and skies this Memorial Day weekend. AAA predicts more than 37 million people will travel at least 50 miles from their homes. That's up 60% from last year, but still almost 6 million fewer than the number of pre-pandemic travelers.
We are prepared for what's expected to be a very busy Memorial Day weekend.
Nearly 2.5 million Americans will be boarding planes, with thousands of passengers passing through TSA checkpoints each day. Officials say they're ready for the influx.
Over this holiday weekend, we are expecting 65 to 70,000 passengers per day through our checkpoints.
The roads are expected to be even more congested. Experts say more than 90% of Memorial Day travelers will drive to their destinations, despite gas prices being at their highest since 2014. A rise in vaccinations and a decline in COVID-19 cases are the main reasons behind the travel surge. But for unvaccinated travelers, the CDC recommends getting tested for COVID before and after your trip, along with social distancing and masks, which are still required in airports and on planes for all flyers through at least September 30th.
Passengers' face masks should fully cover their nose and mouth throughout the airport experience.
Facebook and the Instapoll. Let us know if you're traveling this Memorial Day weekend. Log on to KOAMnewsnow.com/vote, and we'll get to those results in Health Watch here coming up.
Topping Health Watch this morning, the U.S. has hit a major milestone in the fight against the coronavirus heading into Memorial Day weekend, with half of adults now fully vaccinated. And the Moderna jab may soon be available for children as young as 12, joining Pfizer. CBS's Laura Podesta has more.
The head of the CDC has this message for Americans heading into the holiday weekend.
If you are vaccinated, you are protected, and you can enjoy your Memorial Day. If you are not vaccinated, our guidance has not changed for you. You remain at risk of infection. You still need to mask and take other precautions.
Preparations are underway along the Jersey Shore for a more normal summer.
I think everybody's just got cabin fever and they can't wait to get out.
50% of adults are fully vaccinated, but just under 20% of 12 to 17-year-olds have received at least one dose. Los Angeles hopes to vaccinate 300,000 students by the end of next week. These students held a pep rally to kick off the program at their school.
It's going to help a lot, be able to see my friends a little bit more and my family. So I'm excited for that.
Pfizer is the only vaccine approved for children 12 to 15, but that may soon change. Moderna says its vaccine is 100% effective in children as young as 12 and plans to request FDA authorization next month.
It's exciting. It's another vaccine now that we have that's available for patients as young as 12 years of age, which gives us more opportunity to protect more people, both in the U.S. and worldwide.
Dr. Anthony Fauci says he doesn't expect a vaccine for children under 12 to be available in time for the new school year. Laura Podesta, CBS News.
Dr. Fauci told Congress yesterday that the studies being done on young children would likely not be available until the end of 2021. Men with low testosterone levels face a greater risk of battling severe COVID-19. A study at Washington University Medical School found the lower the levels, the more serious the disease, raising the risk of dying or needing intensive care. For women, doctors found no connection between hormone levels and the severity of their infections. That's a look at some of today's top health stories. You're watching the KOAM Morning News.
A chance, look out to the west. There's a live look over 7th and Rangeline. Oh, I got to get there. I was going to see if I could magically make it appear colorful again. There. Thank you, Dylan. All right, so once again, we're calling it, you can call it Film Noir Wednesday. You can call it Michael touched the camera and we don't know what happened Wednesday. Take your pick. Anyway, that's the full moon. It's a super blood flower moon. The super indicating its proximity to Earth, the blood, because it is part of a lunar eclipse with a little shade and tint to it. And the flower moon is what's known as the May moon. Now to the day planner. where we're going to have sunrise at 6:02. So you still got a little bit of time to get out there and enjoy it. Temperatures up into the 80s today, and our rain chances very limited until we get to late tonight into Thursday morning. That's when thunderstorms are going to kick in and work from west to east. Back down to the mid-70s for the weekend. Back with more KOAM Morning News right after this.
4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5:30. I'm Tanya Bach. Finally, a break from the rain today before it picks back up, well, tomorrow. Let's go straight to Michael Hayslip with the first look at the forecast.
I'm not going to lie to you, for like one fleeting second, I actually had color out there.
You did?
I did. All right, there's the full super blood moon hanging right over the church right there. It still is a glorious sight. I don't care if it's black and white or in color. It's pretty cool to check out. 63 degrees is where we stand over Joplin right now. Very high humidity, but we're able to avoid any type of precipitation for our Wednesday morning. Got 32 minutes until we officially hit sunrise. And when we do, we're going to warm up all the way into the 80s. It's going to be a good looking afternoon and gradually clearing skies. So more sunshine than what we've had past couple of days. Now, as we get into Wednesday night, that's when we'll have a little change in the action, because pushing out west, thunderstorms are going to roll through central Kansas toward us. Be honest, for late Wednesday into Thursday. Most of the severe weather wants to stay up to our far north, not even our counties, farther north than even what our counties would indicate. But we're going to get some heavy rain and lightning with this as well. Should be done there by the late morning hours, completely all the way done by the late morning hours, and then back into the 80s on Thursday.
All right. Can't complain about getting a little break during the day
I'm
today.
going to continue to work on my camera here.
You know, I found it interesting. You had color until you turned it back towards that super blood flower moon. And then it went black and white again.
Live TV, folks. Here it is, just swinging behind me.
All right, moving along. The search continues for 2 inmates who escaped from Cherokee County, Kansas Monday night. The Cherokee County Sheriff says the escapees are Michael Martzloff and Mark Hopkins II. Martzloff was in jail for drug crimes, and Hopkins was held for a double homicide. Authorities say the pair escaped through the jail's sewer system.
Office and local police departments, we've been working in partnership with the Kansas Highway Patrol, Kansas Bureau of Investigation, Federal Bureau of Investigation, the U.S. Marshal Service. So it's all hands on deck, and everyone is focused on getting these 2 suspects located and reapprehended as quickly and safely as possible.
Officials say Martzloff and Hopkins are both considered armed and dangerous. If you see them, you're asked to contact police, but do not approach the suspects. A Joplin man pleads guilty to child molestation. Authorities say James Myers sexually assaulted several children as far back as 2007. Myers pled guilty to 5 counts of Class A felony first-degree child molestation and 1 count of Class B felony first-degree child molestation. He will serve 25 years in prison without parole. Some 4 state students will return to class without mask. The Joplin School Board voted to end the school's mask requirements as the district looks to return to some semblance of normalcy.
Excited about it. I think there's fatigue in our community and I first of all want to say how proud I am of our students, our faculty and staff. They have all done remarkably well with the masking this year and far exceeded my expectations for that.
Neosho's district-wide mask mandate ends today. And across the state line, Pittsburgh public school students who participate in summer school activities will be able to do so without masks. The school district yesterday rescinded the mask requirements for all students and staff. The district says the decision was made with an emphasis that students, staff, and visitors continue to monitor their symptoms. Missouri drivers can expect delays and road closures when work begins on June 1st for a new roundabout at the intersection of 171 and YY in Jasper County. MoDOT officials say the change is coming to enhance safety in the area. The existing intersection is close to the railroad tracks that run along 171. That means vehicles, especially large semis and farm equipment approaching from the west on YY, have to sit across from the railroad tracks waiting for a gap in traffic. The new roundabout intersection will be moved over to prevent that from happening. For much of the construction, you'll be able to use the existing roads. But There will be times that the road must be shut down. When that happens, drivers will be directed to use detours. The project cost nearly $10 million, and officials expect it to be complete by December 15th. St. Mary's Elementary kindergartners in Joplin learned a little bit about what it's like for their classmates who have autism. The students went through an autism simulation activity. The activity had students experience different things like dealing with pebbles in their shoes and socks on their hands. They also had to write the alphabet while lights flickered.
It's very important, and just the fact that we get to start early with the kindergarten classroom and start developing that mindset is a wonderful thing.
Simulation was presented by Easter Seals, which also provided the school a $729 check for autism awareness. The Newton County Special Olympics yesterday hosted a torch run featuring several members of local law enforcement agencies. The torch represents courage and celebrates the 140 Special Olympics athletes in Newton County. This was the first time the county did a law enforcement torch run in more than a decade. As many businesses struggle to find workers, Joplin Workshops Incorporated is hiring people with disabilities to fill their positions. One worker we talked to says he's glad to be back to work, making a difference.
It feels real good being able to put my part in, help out the community. You know, we bale cardboard, we make parts, or we put together parts for Lazy Boy. You know, people can still have their paper towels and paper plates and toilet paper, paper products.
Joplin Workshops is a nonprofit located at 520 Michigan Avenue. Downstream Casino is the spot for this year's Joplin Area Chamber of Commerce Business Expo. Yesterday was a chance for businesses to connect with each other. The expo opens to everyone else today. Admission is $5. Children under 5 get in free.
Really, it's an opportunity for the public to come tomorrow, Wednesday, from 10 to 2. This is open to the public. It's an opportunity for anybody to come to Downstream Casino, and we have over 100 businesses here. They have an opportunity to check it out, meet people. There's a lot of employers here that are hiring, so it's a really good opportunity for the community to come out and get a taste of what's new in Joplin.
This is the 29th year for the Joplin Area Chamber of Commerce Business Expo. Again, it's open from 10 to 2 for the public today. That's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. Our Spotlight on Branson series continues as we check out what Silver Dollar City has to offer. Plus, Secretary of State Antony Blinken makes a whirlwind diplomatic trip through the Middle East, the latest on efforts to maintain a fragile ceasefire between Israel and Hamas. But first, it's 5:37.
Yeah. You like the dramatic push as well? Look at that. Perseverance on a Wednesday. Perseverance on a Wednesday. There she is, the full moon. Now remember, we're running out of time here because sunrise will be at 6:02. Sorry, I was having too much fun with that. I was just happy we got it fixed. And we're going to have partly sunny skies later on this afternoon. That's just such a welcome relief. Chance to finally let the grass dry a little bit, and we're going to need it because coming up later tonight, guess what? We've got additional thunderstorm activity that's going to move in from the west as it rolls through. And all through Thursday morning right there. Thursday's going to be a little bit of a wet one. We're going to get some the heaviest rain that we've had here lately, as well as some thunder and lightning to go along with that as well. Then cold front coming in back of that takes us down to the mid-70s there for the weekend. We'll be back with Nation Watch next.
Topping World Watch, America's top diplomat in the Middle East pledges support to help rebuild Gaza while reaffirming Israel's right to defend itself. CBS correspondent Ian Lee is in London with more on an important announcement he made.
Secretary of State Antony Blinken says the U.S. will reopen its consulate in Jerusalem, restoring ties with the Palestinians. The consulate was closed when former President Trump moved the U.S. Embassy to Jerusalem.
That's an important way for our country to engage with and provide support to the Palestinian people.
He met with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu Tuesday, discussing the deadly 11-day conflict between Israel and Gaza militants.
If Hamas breaks the calm and attacks Israel, our response will be very powerful.
The fighting is over for now, but history has shown it's not if another conflict will happen, but when.
I told my son there's a ceasefire, and he said, well, until when?
Blinken is rallying international support to rebuild Gaza and says he'll make sure the aid goes directly to the Palestinian people.
We'll work with our partners, with all, to ensure that Hamas does not benefit from the reconstruction.
Thousands of Palestinians lost their homes in Gaza, but many, like these children, are just happy to have survived. In the West Bank, Blinken met with Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas. The two discussed reviving the peace process.
Any unilateral action that undermines the prospects for genuine progress and genuine peace is something we will continue to oppose.
But permanent peace will be hard to win in such a deeply divided region, leaving both sides little choice but to prepare for another fight. Ian Lee, CBS News.
Secretary of State Antony Blinken announced nearly $40 million in aid to the Palestinians. Off the coast of Colombo in Sri Lanka, authorities are expanding operations to put out a massive fire on a burning ship. A container vessel was anchored just miles away from Sri Lanka's capital, waiting to enter its port when it caught on fire Friday. The Singapore-flagged ship was carrying cosmetics and chemicals, including more than 27 tons of nitric acid when the blaze erupted. An explosion was also reported from within the vessel. According to a spokesman for Sri Lankan Navy, all 25 crew members were evacuated from the vessel after the explosion, and 2 crew members were injured. The Eiffel Tower was illuminated with renewable hydrogen on Tuesday for the first time ever. The iconic tower was provided with zero-emission electro-hydrogen generators made by EOD-Eve, a company that resulted from research and development work that took place aboard the Boat Energy Observer, the world's first vessel to be both generated and powered by hydrogen. The founder of Energy Observer says the continued hydrogen research could cut emissions from greenhouse gas by 20% by the year 2050. Americans are being warned against traveling to Japan for the upcoming Olympics. The warning from the State Department and U.S. health officials comes as the nation sees a surge in coronavirus cases just 2 months ahead of the Olympic Games. The State Department also raises the travel alert from level 3, which means reconsider travel, to level 4, indicating a do not travel warning. The Japanese Prime Minister is set to hold the Games in Tokyo starting July 23rd. That's a look at some of your biggest headlines from around the world. Let's toss it over to Michael for our Something to Talk About.
Thank you, Tanya. Travel also the subject of our KOAM News Now Facebook page and our morning Insta poll, as experts expect travel to rebound this Memorial Day weekend. AAA predicting more than 37 million people will travel at least 50 miles from their homes, and that's up 60% from last year, but still almost 6 million fewer than the number of pre-pandemic travelers. Nearly 2.5 million Americans will be boarding planes, with thousands of passengers passing through TSA checkpoints each and every day. Roads expected to be more congested, and experts say more than 90% of Memorial Day travelers will drive to their destinations despite gas prices being at their highest since 2014. Our question put to you, are you traveling this Memorial Day weekend? Gave you 4 different options: staying close to home, traveling out of county, traveling out of state, or traveling abroad. And right now, 90% of the respondents say, nah, we're just going to stay right close to the old backyard right there. You can make your voice heard. Go to our Facebook page, KOAM News Now, or our morning Insta poll, KOAMnewsnow.com/vote. We'll be back with the news you need to know before you head out the door right after this.
Here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. Prosecutors examining former President Trump's businesses are said to have convened a special grand jury as part of their investigation. The move suggests the Manhattan District Attorney may be preparing criminal charges. In a statement, Trump called the report, quote, a continuation of the greatest witch hunt in American history. The search continues for 2 inmates who escaped from Cherokee County, Kansas Monday night. The Cherokee County Sheriff says the escapees are Michael Martzloff and Mark Hopkins II. Martzloff was in jail for drug crimes, and Hopkins was held for a double homicide. Authorities say the pair escaped through the jail's sewer system. Officials say Martzloff and Hopkins are both considered armed and dangerous. If you see them, you're asked to contact police, but do not approach the suspects. A Joplin man pleads guilty to child molestation. Authorities say James Myers sexually assaulted several children as far back as 2007. Myers pled guilty to 5 counts of Class A felony first-degree child molestation and 1 count of Class B felony first-degree child molestation. He will serve 25 years in prison without parole. Some 4-state students will return to class without mask. The Joplin School Board voted to end the school's mask requirements as the district looks to return to some semblance of normalcy. Neosho's district-wide mask mandate ends today as well. That's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door.
Transition from talking about our full moon that we had a great view of earlier, now to sunrise over Joplin. It'll be here in 13 minutes officially, and so kind of a cool looking shot there with the clouds beginning to kind of break up. And they'll continually break up, despite the fact that it's partly cloudy right now. We'll end up with partly sunny skies this afternoon, and probably the most sunshine that we've had all week. Temperatures on the warm side all the way up into the 80s, just a nice little southerly breeze. But we know overnight, this is where things are going to change. So the majority of the 4 states stays dry today. Then as we push toward midnight, we've got one part of a band that rolls in. That's got some heavy rain, some thunder, and some lightning to it as well, just in time for Thursday morning. Then after a little break, we'll go right back at it, with everything rolling in from west to east tomorrow. And like I said, that's going to pack a punch as far as our rain accumulation numbers. 7-day forecast. After another day of 80s on Thursday, we've got a cold front following that thunderstorm activity that's actually going to bump us down to the mid-70s there for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I guess if we look at all the rain that we've had this week, at least those chances for Memorial Day hanging around 20% and still up close to 80 degrees. So that's kind of hard to beat for this time of year. We'll be back, return with Spotlight on Branson right after this.
You can't have Spotlight on Branson without Silver Dollar City, and I'm so delighted to be here with Joel Smart. He is the food supervisor at Silver Dollar City. Hi, Joel.
Hey, happy to be here.
We'll get to this here in a minute, but let's talk about the park in general first. You guys have a lot going on. Most people know about it, but for those who don't, tell us a little bit about what Silver Dollar City is all about.
Silver Dollar City is an incredible theme park for all ages, 2 to 92. We are internationally awarded. We have 8 different world-class festivals that change throughout the year, so your visit's always going to be different, and 40 different rides and attractions throughout the entire park.
Yeah, and I can attest as a season ticket holder, I mean, you want to come multiple times throughout the year because it's like visiting a different park every time.
Of course, yes.
Well, now let's get to your specialty. I know you've laid out a tremendous spread for us. The food here is just incredible and truly something for everyone. Let's start with the cinnamon rolls because that's one of your specialties here.
Of course, right through when you walk through the turnstiles, you're going to see Even Delilah's Bakery, where we have gigantic cinnamon rolls that you can get as your first stop here in the park. And the bakers here are also tirelessly making these kaleidoscope, rainbow-colored breads with 6 different colors inlaid.
They look beautiful, just fantastic. The waffle cones, that's really intriguing to me, so tell me about those.
Yeah, the waffle cones were a concept that we came up with in 2019. It is a fortune cookie batter that we turn into a waffle cone, and we stuff it with all different types of good stuff depending on the season. Right now, we've got chicken and mac and cheese and all of that good stuff.
Awesome. You have no idea how hard it has been for me to smell this for the last couple minutes. This barbecue looks and smells amazing, so tell me about that.
We just built our brand new Rivertown Smokehouse in 2020. We've got 2 huge smokers smoking 1,200 pounds of meat a day for 12 to 18 hours. We've got chicken, ribs, brisket, pulled pork, and just tons of incredible sides to go through.
Oh, fantastic. Can't wait to dig in. And there's a whole lot more here at the park that we obviously don't have room to show. So any other thing you want to talk about?
Absolutely. You gotta hit the cinnamon bread at the bottom of the park whenever you get to Silver Dollar City. Clarabelle's does an incredible job of just making an incredible snack for you. And also our skillets throughout the park are the mainstay of Silver Dollar City.
Oh, fantastic. Well, Joel, hey, thank you so much for sharing this with us. And whether it's the food, the rides, the attractions, whatever brings you to Silver Dollar City, make sure you check it out.
Shop the area's largest selection.
Get to transition from one beautiful shot to another. Move from the full moon off to a gorgeous looking sunrise over Joplin right there. Officially, it'll be here in about 4.5 minutes. We'll call it 6:02 on this Wednesday morning. And even with some beginning clouds, we're going to get partly sunny skies here later on, all the way up into the low to mid 80s. Hope that humidity calms down a little bit because it could be just a little bit muggy outside for the afternoon. Now, as we transition overnight, here's where the developments begin, as we got some showers and thunderstorms that are going to move in west to east. They're going to pack a little punch in them too, because we're going to get some heavy rain with that. As a matter of fact, even after a early morning break, we're going to be right back at it for the afternoon as well. We could be looking at 1 to 2 inches of rain here by the time Thursday is over. So enjoy today's reprieve, because we're going to be right back at it for the majority of Thursday. Now Friday, we've got a little bit of a cold front coming in after our thunderstorm activity. When I say cold front, it's still going to be very nice headed into the weekend, as we'll have sunshine in mid-70s from Friday into Sunday. Memorial Day shaping up pretty nice. Just some light rain and highs close to 80.
The latest on the search for 2 escaped inmates from the Cherokee County Jail. Plus, a Joplin man accused of child molestation will spend time behind bars. And the Joplin School Board votes to end mask requirements in the district.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 6 a.m. I'm Tanya Bach. And finally, a break from the rain today, at least most of the day, before it picks back up. Let's go straight to Michael Hayslip with a first look at your forecast.
If this is any indicator of how our Wednesday is going to go, I think we are all for it. Gorgeous sunrise over Joplin right there from 7th and Rangeline, with current conditions sitting at 63 degrees. Now that humidity is high, and we're not going to get a huge break from it today. So the afternoon may feel a little bit muggy. I think the lowest we're going to drop down probably about 60%, and that's pretty high for afternoon hours, but no surprise considering where we're starting. The majority of the big action works from Arklatex up the Mississippi River toward the Great Lakes. So as far as we go, you may see a raindrop every now and then. Some of that is actually some fog and some of that humidity. You get that fog and it gets elevated right there. It'll start to drip off of buildings and whatnot. So if you see any on your windshield, it may be a result of that, not actual rain. We're going to get sunshine today, partly sunny skies all the way up into the low to mid 80s. Looking great, but we've got changes coming for Thursday. Thursdays, we may get more rain on Thursday than what we've had here Monday and Tuesday combined. We're looking at 1 to 2 inches as it begins overnight, rolls through, little break, right back at it for the late morning and afternoon hours. 1 to 2 inches for the daytime. Very well could pick up 1 to 2 inches Thursday night into Friday. So flooding once again becomes our main concern. Severe thunderstorm risk map farther west and north that you get in our highlighted counties. That's going to be your biggest threat for wind. Then after that it becomes torrential rain and flooding as you work to the east and to the south.
A lot of more moisture headed our way.
Nice break over the weekend.
I like that the chances for rains got taken off for this weekend, though. That makes me pretty happy.
Nice break for the weekend.
Yes.
20% on Monday.
Psst, psst. I was hoping that would happen. Yes. It's going to be a great weekend. All right, thanks, Michael. The search continues for 2 inmates who escaped from Cherokee County, Kansas late Monday night. The Cherokee County Sheriff says the escapees are Michael Martzloff and Mark Hopkins II. Martzloff was in jail for drug crimes, and Hopkins was held for a double homicide. Authorities say the pair escaped through the jail's sewer system.
In addition to the Sheriff's Office and local police departments, we've been working in partnership with the Kansas Highway Patrol, Kansas Bureau of Investigation, Federal Bureau of Investigation, the U.S. Marshal Service. So it's all hands on deck, and everyone is focused on getting these 2 suspects located and reapprehended as quickly and safely as possible.
Officials say Martzloff and Hopkins are both considered armed and dangerous. If you see them, you're asked to contact police, but do not approach the suspects. A Joplin man pleads guilty to child molestation. Authorities say James Myers sexually assaulted several children as far back as 2007. Myers pled guilty to 5 counts of Class A felony first-degree child molestation and 1 count of Class B felony first-degree child molestation. He will serve 25 years in prison without parole. The murder suspect behind a week-long manhunt was in a South Carolina courtroom on Tuesday. 26-year-old Tyler Terry faces several charges, including 6 counts of attempted murder and 1 count of murder. The judge denied his bond. Terry is accused of several murders, including at least 2 in South Carolina and 2 in Missouri. Adrienne Simpson, the wife of one of the victims, was also taken into custody in connection to the shootings. Simpson's mother says her daughter and Terry had been dating. Some 4-state students will return to class without masks. The Joplin School Board voted to end the school's mask requirements as the district looks to return to some semblance of normalcy.
Excited about it. I think there's fatigue in our community and I first of all want to say how proud I am of our students, our faculty and staff. They have all done remarkably well with the masking this year and far exceeded my expectations for that.
Neosho's district-wide mask mandate ends today. And across the state line, Pittsburgh public school students who participate in summer school activities will be able to do so without masks. The school district yesterday rescinded its mask requirements for all students and staff. The district says the decision was made with an emphasis that students, staff, and visitors continue to monitor their symptoms. Missouri drivers can expect delays and road closures when work begins on June 1st for a new roundabout at the intersection of 171 and YY in Jasper County. MoDOT officials say the change is coming to enhance safety in the area. The existing intersection is close to the railroad tracks that run along 171. And that means vehicles, especially large semis and farm equipment approaching from the west on YY, will have to sit across from the railroad tracks waiting for a gap in traffic. The new roundabout intersection will be moved over to prevent that from happening. For much of the construction, you'll be able to use the existing roads, but there will be times that the road must be shut down. When that happens, drivers will be directed to use detours. The project cost nearly $10 million, and officials expect it to be complete by December 15th. Downstream Casino is the spot for this year's Joplin Area Chamber of Commerce Business Expo, and yesterday was a chance for businesses to connect with each other. The expo opens to everyone else today. Admission is $5. Children under the age of 5 will get in for free.
The public to come tomorrow, Wednesday, from 10 to 2. This is open to the public. It's an opportunity for anybody to come to Downstream Casino, and we have over 100 businesses here. You have an opportunity to check it out, meet people. There's a lot of employers here that are hiring, so it's a really good opportunity for the community to come out and get a taste of what's new in Joplin.
I didn't even recognize Toby Teeter there. This is the 29th year for the Joplin Area Chamber of Commerce Business Expo. The organization Joplin for Justice will soon celebrate its first anniversary. The group is fundraising for an event to mark the occasion. On June 5th, they plan to have a celebration with food and activities, as well as a memorial for victims of police brutality.
After a year of having Joplin for Justice, I feel like we've done an amazing job being present and influential in our community, and that will just continue to grow. We are just not really getting established in a lot of things, so I look forward to see what the next year brings.
Joplin for Justice is raising the funds through a GoFundMe through June 4th. It's 6:07.
I need my Hollywood elitist with me because we just had a scene out of The Birds. I was going to shift the tower cam outside the mothership here to get a better shot of the fog, till I realized we may have a nest up by the tower cam. Oh. Yes, it's kind of cool though, and so hopefully we get to see her before the morning's over. But yeah, that does illustrate the fog that we have right now as we take a look at our visibility numbers, especially down to the south where we're below a mile in Oswego, Welch, and Miami. Throw Parsons and Chanute in there as well. So going to be one of those mornings where don't scramble, take your time, be safe, but know that if you can get out the door a couple minutes early, it's going to pay off in the long run. Day planner with temperatures up into the 80s later on today and gradually clearing skies. Remember, thunderstorm action begins tonight, carries us all the way through Thursday.
Yeah, you were talking about Humphrey Bogart in your film noir scene from Joplin, but maybe it's Alfred Hitchcock instead.
North by Northwest is one of my favorite Hitchcock movies. Probably my favorite Hitchcock movie, North by Northwest.
Not a bad one. That's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News, beauty sales on the rise.
Masks are coming off, and that has many Americans investing in their appearance again. I'm Michael George with a look at the rise in cosmetic and clothing sales.
Plus, Moderna announces its COVID-19 vaccine is highly effective in younger teens. And Spotlight on Branson continues as we highlight the campgrounds at Silver Dollar City. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. More real news in the morning. We'll be right back. In Money Watch this morning, after 14 months of masks and Zoom meetings, vaccinated people are ready to mingle again. That has Americans wanting to look their best, and retailers are benefiting. Michael George explains.
We're doing great here.
Tanya Miranda is the manager at Top Line Cosmetics and Fashion, and she says customers are coming back.
People are buying clothes and they're buying makeup.
With more Americans vaccinated and mask mandates dropping, people are socializing again. Lipstick sales are on the rise, along with other beauty products, and customers are heading to major retailers to buy clothes.
We're seeing people are returning to the stores. There's an excitement, there's an enthusiasm.
Deborah Weinswig from Coresight Research says clothing and clothing accessory stores saw sales skyrocket 711% in April compared to last year.
These are just numbers that are mind-boggling, and I have to say I've never seen them in kind of my retail career.
I'll be needing to buy new clothes.
Amanda Steigman has been working at home and is preparing for a return to the office.
I'm getting my eyebrows done, a European wax down the road, just rejoined the gym over here.
People are also dressing up for special occasions, including weddings, engagement parties, and graduations.
Getting out, buying new clothes. I haven't done anything in a year and a half. I mean, it's like time stopped.
Sal Wonderland says he's not just spending money on new clothes.
Going to the gym 3 times a week, trying to lose the COVID-19.
Experts believe demand for clothes and other appearance-related products will continue now that life is looking closer to normal. Michael George, CBS News, New York.
Walmart says it has seen increasing sales for teeth whitener, and Macy's reports shoppers are buying new luggage. The Department of Homeland Security will issue new cybersecurity regulations for pipeline operators this week. It comes after a ransomware attack that shut down Colonial Pipeline, causing a fuel shortage along the East Coast. Companies will be required to report incidents to the federal government. There will also likely be new rules for safeguarding systems and responding to attacks. CDC has given Royal Caribbean the go-ahead to do a test sail in U.S. waters. It's the first cruise liner to receive such permission. The 2-night sail begins June 20th with volunteer passengers who will test new coronavirus protocols. Passengers don't have to be vaccinated, but those that are not must have a doctor's note saying they're not at high risk from COVID-19. Cruises have been under a CDC no-sail order since April of last year. Troubles brewing in the world's biggest exporter of coffee. Severe weather in Brazil is threatening to rise prices on coffee and orange juice. The country's recent rainy season hardly brought any rain, and some meteorologists expect the dry season to last longer than usual. If this year's crops don't get enough water, it could lead to a lower coffee and orange output for the second year in a row. Brazil famously exports Arabica coffee used by chains such as Starbucks. That's it for Money Watch. We'll be right back.
6:17 on a Wednesday morning, and our big development has been how much fog has quickly set in. Earlier, we were talking about gorgeous sunrises and full moons, and we had a great shot of everything. Now trying to just meander our way through the 4 states. Give yourself plenty of extra time. Remember, low beam headlights, a lot of room between you and extra drivers, and just stay on the safe side. Somewhere down there is 7th and Range Line in Joplin, but yeah, that's as good as we have visibility wise right now. 63 degrees with, of course, the very high humidity, the result of the fog. Thunderstorm activity stays from Arklatex up the Mississippi toward the Great Lakes. For us, it's actually been dry. If you do see any drops, could be the residual from the fog falling off some elevated areas right there. Still do have a flood warning for the Osage River ranging until Saturday. That's probably going to be extended with the amount of rain that we'll see from late tonight all the way through Thursday. 63 in Carthage, 65 in Independence. Let's roll 63 in Miami and trio of 66s ranging up there from Iola to Fort Scott into Nevada with just a little light southerly breeze, just 5 to 10 miles per hour. As far as the jet stream goes, it's starting to develop a little bit of a ridge, and as it moves across Cody and toward us, that'll actually give us some warmer temperatures than what we've had past couple of days. We're going to be able to roll 80s not only today, but tomorrow as well. But the big development is the 1 to 2 inches of rain from tonight into tomorrow. Combo that with another 1 to 2 inches of rain from late Thursday night as it just continually rolls through. We're talking about torrential downpours up to the northwest, also too the threat of high winds, and we're going to have lightning and thunder associated with this one. 80s on Thursday as well, then a little bit of a cool front with the 70s on Friday and Saturday. Now we return to Spotlight on Branson.
Well, when you and your family come to Branson, you obviously need a place to stay. And for my money, there's no place better than the Silver Dollar City Campground. And I'm standing next to the supervisor of the campground, Nick Nelson. Hi, Nick.
Hi, how are you?
I'm great. Thank you so much. So tell us a little bit about the campground in general and also what we're going to be looking at today.
All right. So the campground has a little bit for everybody. We've got anything from primitive tent sites for those people that really want to get in touch with their nature and that sort of thing. But then we also have everything from RV sites, basic to full hookup, 30 amp, 50 amp. And then we have 38 cabins in total as well.
Now the cabins, that's definitely speaking my language because I like a place that's already built for me, and I understand these places, which we're going to see here in just a second. They really have everything.
They do. It's a great family destination. We have several different cabin types for families that are smaller with up to 4 people, and then we have our loft cabins, which will sleep up to 6 or 7 people.
Awesome. Well, let's go inside and take a look.
Absolutely.
Now, Nick, I know you have several types of cabins here on property. This here is a loft cabin, so tell our viewers at home what all they can expect to find here.
So with the loft cabin, we've got sleeping arrangements for up to 7 people. There's a queen bed downstairs, 2 fulls and a twin up in the loft there. It's got a kitchenette with a full-size refrigerator and a cooktop. And all of our cabins do have indoor plumbing, so we do have bathrooms for every mom out there that doesn't want to use the outhouse.
Yeah, and again, it's right up my alley because it feels like but you can see it behind us. It feels outdoorsy, but yet it has all the amenities that people like on vacation.
Yes, I mean it's very traditional. Like it has that traditional cabin feel, which a lot of people like, but it does have all the amenities you would come to expect.
Fantastic. Well, let's go back outside one more time and look at a few more things.
Sounds good.
You know, Nick, I personally have been coming to Silver Dollar City for almost 30 years now. And I've never stayed here on the campground, but that's going to change soon. But tell our viewers at home why it pays off to stay here at the SDC campground.
So not only is it a beautiful property that is full of nature and that sort of thing, but we also have a free shuttle to Silver Dollar City that is complimentary to guests of the property here. We also have tickets for sale and a general store for those items that you left at home on the counter when you walked out the door.
And I understand you're pretty booked up for the next couple months, so if somebody wants to stay here, they need to book now, correct?
Absolutely. The best advice I can give you is plan ahead because we are booking fast.
Awesome. Nick, thank you so much, and make sure you check out the campground next time you're in Branson.
When wind and hail break.
Topping Health Watch this morning, federal officials are issuing a new warning to travelers ahead of the summer season. This coming as Moderna takes another step towards getting its vaccine authorized for younger teens. Jonathan Suri has more.
Another vaccine option could be on the way for kids as young as 12. Moderna announcing today its COVID-19 vaccine is 100% effective in children ages 12 through 17 after 2 doses, and about 93% effective after only 1 shot. The drug maker says it plans to submit the data to the FDA in June in hopes of expanding its emergency use authorization to more age groups.
Kids may want to get the vaccine to prevent the inflammatory reaction. About 10,000 kids got it last year. That's something that can be prevented with the vaccine.
Both Pfizer and Moderna are also testing their vaccines in children as young as 6 months. Health experts say that process could take longer because those age groups may need varying doses.
While we don't expect that all children will be able to be vaccinated until probably the end of this year or the beginning of 2022, this certainly does add a significant part of our adolescent population to having another option for vaccination against COVID-19.
Meanwhile, the Department of Homeland Security issued a warning to travelers ahead of Memorial Day weekend. Officials are reminding people of a federal mandate requiring masks on trains, buses, and other forms of public transportation. They're also encouraging people to get vaccinated before traveling this summer.
That is the best ticket to all of our public health and the reemergence of travel in the fullest way possible.
AAA expects a 60% increase in people traveling this Memorial Day weekend compared to last year. Well, the use of virtual reality to help in coping with pain or anxiety could become a new regular way of medical treatment. Virtual reality headsets are being tested as alternative relief in helping medical patients cope with very real medical problems. Doctors are learning that virtual reality just might be a good substitute for some medications, because it creates a new world and causes the body to respond differently by creating its own medicine through visual and audio cues. Federal health officials want people to stop snuggling with their backyard poultry. I cannot believe we're saying this. The U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention says poultry, like chicken and ducks, can carry salmonella germs, which can easily spread if you touch the animal or anything in their environment. Then touch your mouth or your food. CDC reports 163 salmonella illnesses and 34 hospitalizations across 43 states as of May 20th. Just like when you pick up those frogs and toads, wash your hands. That's a look at some of today's top health stories. You're watching the KOAM Morning News.
Fog becomes our new threat on this Wednesday morning, with visibility numbers now ducking under a mile where you see the darker gray. As a matter of fact, it's even getting worse up to the north right now. Look at Fredonia and Chanute, half a mile, if not even worse. It's a little bit better in southwest Missouri, but everybody give yourself additional time to get out the door, please, and we'll be safe, get through this just fine. Our day planner with the clouds parting and up into the 80s later on today. But the big development is overnight. As thunderstorm activity rolls in from west to east, we're looking at 1 to 2 inches of rain during the morning, an additional 1 to 2 Thursday night.
The latest on the search for 2 escaped inmates from the Cherokee County Jail. Plus, a Joplin man accused of child molestation will spend time behind bars. And the Joplin School Board votes to end mask requirements in the district.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 6:30. I'm Tanya Bach. Finally, we're getting a break from the rain today, at least for most of the day before it picks back up. Let's go straight to Michael Hayslip with the first look at your forecast.
Worry about the fog as it has set in and it is thick. We're talking about visibility numbers that have dropped below a mile, especially throughout southeast Kansas. Miami, a little bit of a rebound up to 1.6 miles. Carthage and CJ, notoriously bad with visibility when it comes to fog, hanging in there at 5 and 4 miles respectively. There's a 7th and range line. It's actually getting better than what we had just 15 minutes ago. It's actually starting to lift up off the roadway. So at least we're headed in the right direction. Very comfortable outside, 63 degrees. Of course, the high humidity with the fog and everything sticking around from the Gulf. A lot of action out to the far east of us. You almost got to go to the Mississippi River. And we're going to have our clouds begin to break and be able to pick up sunshine and lift us into the 80s here later on this afternoon. Going to be a delightful Wednesday, and take advantage of it because Thursday is going to be a different tune. Going to have thunderstorms that will move in late tonight through Thursday morning, and then even as they begin to break, we're going to reload. We've got a couple rounds coming at us. We're looking at 1 to 2 inches throughout Thursday daytime, another 1 to 2 for Thursday evening and night. Heavy rain and flooding going to be our main concerns by the time we're said and done. And we will have some lightning and thunder. We've been kind of able to avoid that widespread lightning and thunder this week. That'll be different tomorrow.
All right, well, it'll be nice to get a little break for the most of the day.
Today's good. Today's shaping up to look great.
I'm ready for some baseball action tonight.
It's time starting.
Ours isn't until 7:45.
Knowing your neck of the woods, I think you'll squeeze it in.
Yeah, I hope so. Didn't get to do it last week, so it'd be nice. All right, thanks, Michael. The search continues for 2 inmates who escaped from Cherokee County, Kansas late Monday night. The Cherokee County Sheriff says the escapees are Michael Martzloff and Mark Hopkins II. Martzloff was in jail for drug crimes, and Hopkins was held for a double homicide. Authorities say the pair escaped through the jail's sewer system.
In addition to the Sheriff's Office and local police departments, we've been working in partnership with the Kansas Highway Patrol, Kansas Bureau of Investigation, Federal Bureau of Investigation, the U.S. Marshals Service. So it's all hands on deck, and everyone is focused on getting these two suspects located and re-apprehended as quickly and safely as possible.
Officials say Martzloff and Hopkins are both considered armed and dangerous. If you see them, you're asked to contact police, but do not approach the suspects. A Joplin man pleads guilty to child molestation. Authorities say James Myers sexually assaulted several children as far back as 2007. Myers pled guilty to 5 counts of Class A felony first-degree child molestation and 1 count of Class B felony first-degree child molestation. He will serve 25 years in prison without parole. Some 4-state students will return to class without mask. The Joplin School Board voted to end the school's mask requirements as the district looks to return to some semblance of normalcy.
I think there's fatigue in our community and I first of all want to say how proud I am of our students, our faculty and staff. They have all done remarkably well with the masking this year and far exceeded my expectations for that.
Neosho's district-wide mask mandate ends today. And across the state line, Pittsburgh Public School students who participate in summer school activities will be able to do so without masks. The school district yesterday rescinded its mask requirements for all students and staff. The district says the decision was made with an emphasis that students, staff, and visitors continue to monitor their symptoms. Missouri drivers can expect delays and road closures when work begins on June 1st for a new roundabout at the intersection of 171 and YY in Jasper County. MoDOT officials say the change is coming to enhance safety in the area. The existing intersection is close to the railroad tracks that run along 171. That means vehicles, especially large semis and farm equipment approaching from the west on YY, have to sit across from the railroad tracks waiting for a gap in traffic. The new roundabout intersection will be moved over to prevent that from happening. For much of the construction, you'll be able to use the existing roads. But there will be times that the road must be shut down, and when that happens, drivers will be directed to use detours. The project cost nearly $10 million. Officials expect it to be completed by December 15th. St. Mary's Elementary kindergartners in Joplin learned a little bit about what it's like for their classmates who have autism. Students went through an autism simulation activity. The activity had students experience different things like dealing with pebbles in their shoes and socks on their hands. They also had to write the alphabet while lights flickered.
It's very important, and just the fact that we get to start early with the kindergarten classroom and start developing that mindset is a wonderful thing.
Simulation was presented by Easter Seals, which also provided the school a $729 check for autism awareness. Newton County Special Olympics yesterday hosted a torch run featuring several members of local law enforcement agencies. The torch represents courage and celebrates the 140 Special Olympic athletes in Newton County. This was the first time the county did a law enforcement torch run in more than a decade. That's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour in the KOAM Morning News. A step that could lead to an indictment.
According to reports, prosecutors have convened a special grand jury in their Trump Organization investigation. I'm Laura Podesta in New York with how this development signals that charges could be forthcoming.
Plus, for our Something to Talk About, we're asking, are you traveling this Memorial Day weekend? We let you weigh in, but first, it's 6:37.
Mid-60s here at the 6:37 hour. Temperatures going to be in the 80s later on. But the big development is tonight into Thursday as thunderstorm activity moves in from west to east. We're going to get a whole lot of rain, and it's going to be widespread as well. Throw some thunder and lightning in there, and Thursday shapes up to be rather an interesting one because flooding is going to reemerge as we head into the weekend. Then we're back down to the 70s, but at least it looks like we're staying dry Friday through Sunday. Be back with Nation Watch next.
It was a code 10.
Topping Nation Watch this morning, a significant step forward reported in the criminal investigation into the Trump Organization. CBS News' Laura Podesta explains it's a step that could lead to an indictment.
A 2-year investigation into the Trump Organization may be advancing into a new phase. First reported by the Washington Post, a source also tells the Associated Press the Manhattan District Attorney's Office is convening a special grand jury to possibly consider criminal charges against top executives at former President Trump's company. A key target of the investigation is longtime Trump Organization CFO Alan Weisselberg. CBS News has learned investigators are looking at the legality of tuition payments Weisselberg made to his grandchildren's New York private school. His former daughter-in-law says some of the checks were signed by Weisselberg or Donald Trump.
He knows where all the bodies are buried. If there were accounting tricks, they would have had to go by him.
Among the issues Manhattan DA Cy Vance is investigating, possible hush payments made on behalf of Mr. Trump to silence women who claim to have had affairs with him, and potential property overvaluations.
Those real estate accusations are something Mr. Trump's former personal lawyer, Michael Cohen, alleged to Congress 2 years ago.
To your knowledge, did the president or his company ever inflate assets or revenues?
Yes.
And was that done with the president's knowledge or direction?
Everything was done with the knowledge and at the direction of Mr. Trump.
In a statement, Mr. Trump called the investigation purely political and driven by highly partisan Democrat prosecutors. Laura Podesta, CBS News.
Washington Post reports the grand jury will meet 3 times a week for 6 months. President Biden will meet face-to-face with Russian leader Vladimir Putin next month. The sit-down will take place in Geneva on June 16th at the end of President Biden's first overseas trip as president. Health and Human Services Secretary Xavier Becerra called on the World Health Organization to pursue an independent investigation into the origin of the coronavirus. Some U.S. officials believe it's possible the virus escaped from a lab in Wuhan, China, a theory Beijing has vehemently rejected. House buyers are paying more for homes, and one expert says we need more homes staying on the market to cool prices down. Supply shortages in building homes have driven prices up, especially as outdoor restaurants and home do-it-yourselfers gobbled up home lumber supplies. National Association of Home Builders CEO Jerry Howard is worried that home prices are rising too high too fast. It says a more sustainable housing market needs capped building cost. Howard also says prices would inflate much less if there's 6 months worth of homes still on the market. Home prices in March jumped the most in 15 years. That's a look at today's top national stories. Let's check back in with Michael for our Something to Talk About.
Thank you, Tanya. KOAM News Now Facebook page in the morning Insta poll as experts expect travel to rebound this Memorial Day weekend. AAA predicting more than 37 million people going to travel at least 50 miles from their homes. Now that is, of course, up 60% from last year. But get this, it's still almost 6 million fewer than the number of pre-pandemic travelers. Nearly 2.5 million Americans are boarding planes. Got thousands of passengers going to go through TSA checkpoints each and every day, and roads, well, those are even going to be more congested. Those AAA experts saying more than 90% of Memorial Day travelers will drive to their destinations. This despite gas prices being at their highest levels since 2014. Our question to you is, are you traveling this Memorial Day weekend? And 86% of you doing that staying close to home thing. And whether that could be in your backyard or whether that could be, just down the road. Traveling out of the county. Found this one interesting. We had 0 on traveling out of the county. And 14% are traveling out of state. Of course, that also too can be a little bit misleading with the fact that we've got 4 states that are within so close to each other as far as that driving distance goes. You could actually travel out of the county and travel out of state, I guess. Well, you'd have to do both, but you get what I'm saying. Anyway, you can always take part in our Insta poll, KOAMnewsnow.com/vote, or log on to our Facebook page, KOAM News Now. We'll be back and celebrate birthdays and anniversaries next. We take this time to honor this morning's 4-state hero. Chad Johnson, a sergeant, a member of the United States Army. Tanya, where's he a native of?
Chad served in Iraq and Afghanistan from 2003 to 2006. His hometown, Pittsburgh, Kansas. We are proud to salute Chad Johnson, our four-state hero.
Birthday list begins with William Shordorf. Smiling kiddo right there, William. I want you to have a marvelous 5th birthday.
And we have Ridley Minor turning 6 years old in Neosho Falls, Kansas.
Kara Kingman, go K squared, celebrating the big number 9. Kara, a very happy birthday to you. She's in the Berg.
Hope you smile today for your birthday. Happy birthday, Kara.
Who that is?
Hey! Here's one from yesterday. See, I wasn't the only one that didn't get theirs
What up,
on.
Alex?
Alex Vickery is 12 years old now. Big kid.
Good looking young man he's growing into being. Smart kid, too. Happy birthday, dude.
And we've got Terry Payne turning 21 years old.
That's a good picture right there. I like that with the dog.
I believe Terry's birthday was actually yesterday, but we didn't have Terry's photo, and we wanted to share that wonderful photo out of Arcadia, Kansas, pictured there with Terry's dog, Yogi.
Katie Miorandi, she is 34 years old. Katie, happy birthday. I love it. I love the theme we got going here. That's 3 in a row with man's best friend right there. Katie, this birthday wish comes with love from Mom and Dad.
This birthday takes us out to Chanute as we celebrate with Sarah Bruner.
So this is
She's
crazy.
now 35.
It's the wrong one because I'm much older than that Sarah Bruner. But Sarah, you have the exact same name as my best friend in high school. They threw me for a loop there when I heard Sarah Bruner. Happy 35th to you, Sarah. Now, Sarah's on the left. Who's that on the right, you ask? Uh-huh. That is Sarah's daughter, Tessa Leach. Tessa, a very happy 11th birthday to you. I'm so glad you get to share that with your mom as well. Both Sarah and Tessa are both in Chanute.
What a great mother-daughter picture there. Love it. Tanya Zwollen turning the big 6-0 today. Happy birthday to Tanya in Oswego. Oh yes, we have a special note here. The grandkids want to say happy birthday, Nene. That's what they call her.
Sonia Blackford, happy birthday to Miss Sonia. She's celebrating in Lamar. Jarrett Best, a happy birthday in Columbus. And Therese Wilkinson, celebrating 29. Miss Therese is in Scammon. Happy birthday and happy anniversary to all. There's Tanya Bach with a very important birthday announcement.
That's right, you can be a part of the KOAM birthday club. All you have to do is go to our website and sign up, and once you do, you'll get special deals from local businesses. Go to KOAMnewsnow.com, sign up for the KOAM birthday club today.
So far, our Wednesday morning fog not doing much to let up. That's a live look outside of Television City. Now, our visibility numbers have dipped below a mile, especially when we get to the south there with our dark gray areas, and now moving up into the northern portion of southeast Kansas as well, consistently below a mile. It does get a little bit better throughout southwest Missouri. We're getting a nice rebound right here in Welch and Miami as far as the fog lifting quickly. And not but 20 minutes ago, we could barely see 7th and Range Line. We now have blue sky up above it and the sun coming down on the intersection. That's how quickly it can change, just like that. Still want everybody to be safe, though, especially when you get to those low-lying areas. 63 degrees with the thunderstorm activity in the contiguous 48 rolling out from Arklatex up the Mississippi River, so way far out to our east. You've seen a couple raindrops every now and then, but for the most part, just like it was over 7th and Range Line, the clouds are already beginning to break. Now remember, we've got a flood warning for the Osage River, lasts all the way until Saturday, and not going to be surprised if that's not extended because of the amount of rain that we'll see here in the next 24 to 36 hours. 65 in Miami, 64 in Lamar, 67s in Neodesha and Chanute, and able to do so even with that fog as the wind just comes in 5 to 10 miles per hour, not barreling in on us, and it does so from the south. Jet stream very, very flat for the time being. The ridge over the Midwest means warmer than anticipated temperatures up into the 80s. Here's the big development. Tonight, it originates out to our west. As it rolls through, we're talking about 1 to 2 inches of hard rain coming down. And then after a little break, we do it again for Thursday afternoon and evening. Take us into Thursday night. Flooding is going to be our greatest concern here by the time we get into Friday. Cooler temps on the backside, still a mild weekend though, mid-70s, and finally shots of no rain. Be back, wrap up this edition of the KOAM Morning News right after this. Oh, here, just take the VO. My bad. I don't know what happened there behind me. Asking if you're traveling this Memorial Day weekend. I don't know if he is or not. Maybe he's going down to Mar-a-Lago. I'm not sure. Our question to you on the Insta poll is if you are traveling. Right now, 73% of you say you're staying close to home. That's just really annoying now that that's locked up. Look at that. There we go. We do finally have 8% say traveling out of the county and 19% saying traveling out of the state. Remember, each and every morning you can take part. All you have to do is go to KOAMnewsnow.com/vote. Tanya?
All right, here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. Prosecutors examining former President Trump's businesses are said to have convened a special grand jury as part of their investigation. The move suggests the Manhattan District Attorney may be preparing criminal charges. In a statement, President Trump called the report, quote, a continuation of the greatest witch hunt in American history. The search continues for 2 inmates who escaped from Cherokee County, Kansas, Monday night. The Cherokee County Sheriff says the escapees are Michael Martzloff and Mark Hopkins II. Martzloff was in jail for drug crimes, and Hopkins was held for a double homicide. Authorities say the pair escaped through the jail's sewer system. Officials say Martzloff and Hopkins are both considered armed and dangerous. If you see them, you're asked to contact police, but do not approach the suspects. A Joplin man pleads guilty to child molestation. Authorities say James Myers sexually assaulted several children as far back as 2007. Myers pled guilty to 5 counts of Class A felony first-degree child molestation and 1 count of Class B felony first-degree child molestation. He will serve 25 years in prison without parole. Some 4 state students will return to class without masks. The Joplin School Board voted to end the school's mask requirements as the district looks to return to some semblance of normalcy. Neosho's district-wide mask mandate ends today. And that's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door.
All slowly beginning to lift, but still, if you get out the door early here and make sure you got a lot of room between you and other drivers. The visibility is not perfect right now. But tell you what, for the ride home it will be. We're looking at a delightful afternoon and evening, and take advantage of it because we got some major changes developing here for late tonight into Thursday. Very heavy rain coming down throughout early Thursday morning, and even though we'll get a little bit of a break, we're right back at it for Thursday afternoon and evening. Looking at 1 to 2 inches of rainfall with each band that rolls through, so flooding will be our major concern by the time Thursday concludes.
Coming up today at noon, we're making summer's best chilled corn soup in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
Morning news continues on KOAM, CBS Morning News. That's coming up next.
Or you can switch on over with us on Fox 14, where your only local morning news continues.
And this morning, we're going to take a trip to Silver Dollar City, compliments of Spotlight on Branson. So if you're looking forward to getting out, or maybe you're headed down there for the Memorial Day weekend, give you an idea of what they have in store for us come summer 2021. Wraps it up for this Wednesday edition. I want you to have a great day. Most importantly, we want you to be safe. We'll do this all again tomorrow morning.
And we're going to do it again today at noon.